Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Please don't let me in.
Yeah. Gon' play that. Take you down, I'ma say that. Mine need me a couple dollars. Telling you now this payback. So I take that. Ask him now what say that.
Evening and welcome. It's 5:30, or in fact now just gone 6 on a Friday, and that means just one thing. Time for a fight night here at the Fight Zone Arena in the Sheffield sunshine. Whether you're with us on the Fight Zone app or one of many joining on YouTube via Seconds Out, a busy evening ahead, of course, delving into the melting pot that is professional British boxing with some inspiring stories on the card. We'll meet a preacher, a poet, and even a frontline NHS worker, all reaching for the top of the spot. The night will climax with a final eliminator for a Commonwealth title shot. That's all to come. You can subscribe, of course, on fightzone.uk for just £4.99 a month. And there's been quite the shows in recent weeks with Fight Zone more than up and running. Last weekend we had the double header for you, Friday and Saturday here in Sheffield. On the Friday night, top of the bill, we saw Charlie Schofield toe-to-toe with Mickey Ellison in our main event. Schofield came out quick, dominated with that lightning left jab, and was crowned the new English super middleweight champion after a brilliant display and a cracking fight. And then on Saturday we were back for more as Mark Leach came through a tense main event to outpoint Thomas Essomba and open the door for a British super bantamweight title shot. Excellent fight again on the Saturday night. So we are good to go once again in the company of two British boxing greats, Anthony Crolla and Glenn McGrory. Don't need much introduction, but they are both here. Looking forward to another cracking night. Glenn, good to have you back.
Thank
You're
you
on the
very
front
much.
foot.
Good to be back.
Good lad.
Wasn't feeling so good last week.
No. Well, those second jabs, as you should know from your career in boxing, can be nasty.
I could never take a double jab.
They're good for you in the end. They're good for you in the end. He missed a couple of great nights last
Yes.
week. You and I were here on the Friday night.
We was.
And that fat Schofield fight, the Mank beating the Lank.
Yes, great fight, and fair play Charlie Schofield.
Yeah.
He went away, adapted. I think we had his coach out remembering the next night, and you know, they'd worked hard and he'd really improved. I mean, Mickey Ellison didn't stop trying all night. The guts, the heart, but you know, very, very good performance from Charlie Schofield, new English super middleweight champion.
Absolutely, yeah, and chance therefore to go for a British title, as obviously now Mark Leach will at super bantamweight. These are very, very meaningful nights for young British boxers.
You know, I mean, that's what's great about these occasions. And you know, I keep going on about it, but you know, I'm so pleased to see that fighters are getting their chance. You know, at all different weights. You know, doesn't matter who they're promoted by. You know, they're still getting their opportunity. And I think talking to trainers, talking to fighters, they're loving this. They're loving this because they're finally, you know, kids on their debut are getting televised and also getting interviewed by Don McGuinness. Doesn't get better than that.
Don't say that, it'll go to his head. Listen, obviously, more than one boxing show's had perhaps a former prisoner on the card, but we've got a preacher and a poet tonight.
Yes.
Good stories.
A real mix. I mean, I've been lucky enough to see Derek Azazi, the punching preacher, and what he can really fight.
Yeah.
So again, we've on about going on to British titles. I think this platform now, we're going to see British title fights now. I'm positive about that, but then it puts you in those positions. Charlie, we mentioned, Matt Leach, he's secured that shot, I think long overdue. The fights are going to get bigger and bigger on here.
The stories behind the boxers are always fascinating to me, and I'm sure a lot of the people watching. Matt Windle, who's on the title eliminator tonight, he's a professional poet. When he's not boxing, goes into schools and teaches kids about the power of words, and then comes and punches people's lights out in the ring.
Do you know, I think
tremendous.
That's what's great as well. You know, you're getting to find out what these kids are about, and you're getting to find out the story behind them. Often you just see them in the ring, and that's all you know. You just know how they fight.
Yeah.
But when you find out, you know, it's great to find out what a character is. You know, a poet laureate from Birmingham.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you get a poet laureate from Birmingham?
Don't know. Now he ends up as a professional boxer.
I've just lost a load of mates from Birmingham, haven't I?
Oh, well, you're a little harsher than I would be towards Birmingham. Great city, by the way. Do keep tuning in.
It is.
Do keep tuning in, everybody. But they are. Listen, we've got an NHS frontline worker on the undercard tonight in Andy Dunn, who's going to, I think he's lost 4 stone to get in the ring and fight tonight. These are great tales.
Real sort of working man sport, as you'd say. And the girls as well. I've got a fight myself who's frontline with the NHS.
Yeah.
But no, great stories, and you know, it's not to keep echoing that, but what Glenn said, if these shows weren't going ahead, a lot of these fighters wouldn't have any work. I know it myself because of I had a fight on last week, but those two lads wouldn't have been on without these shows. So it's great to have live boxing back.
Yeah,
and we've got another nice night for it.
Your boy did all right, didn't he, Jake, on the Saturday?
Yeah, Jake done okay, yeah. He's a very talented Jake. He knows that, like I say, he's done a lot of things right. He also done a lot of things he can improve on, but I'm excited for him. Good lad, dedicated, and just what he needed after 18 months out.
We've also got, we've got Derek O'Says.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, like a lot of fighters, this was a kid that was in a lot of trouble in school, like you probably were. I can tell with
he
that
doesn't like to talk
face.
about it.
But a lot of kids, we were all a little bit troubled, and he pulled his life around.
Yeah.
He's now a preacher. I mean, got a great story, good education, like done really well for himself, and I think and doing great, undefeated as a fighter. So it's a brilliant story.
Yeah. Obviously looking forward to your company then for the next few hours, and hopefully in the Fridays and the weeks and months to come on Fight Zone. Let's mark your card then for what we've got for you here in Sheffield this Friday evening. There are a pair of debuts to get us underway as Dylan Norman and JAHFIBUS FAURE take to the ring for the first time as professionals. And then, as mentioned, making his pro debut at the age of 33, Andy Owen, an NHS worker who's been on the front line during the pandemic and has lost all that weight, 4 stone in total, in his quest to make a career out of boxing. So a special night for him. That's our undercard. And then from 7:30, it's a return to the ring first for Sean Fennell, who was unbeaten on these shores before the pandemic hit, now looking for a return to winning ways after a pair of overseas defeats in 2020. Wickham King is finally back in the ring, having won his professional debut back in 2019. He's had to wait, of course, because of COVID, and takes on Lewis van Perch to kickstart his career for a second time. Then it's the turn of Stanley Stannard, another prospect who'll be welcoming the chance to get back to work after the enforced break. And then, as we've just discussed, fight 7 of the night, the return of the punching preacher David Osaze, taking on Tyler Denny, himself with an excellent record, before then tonight's main event, that Commonwealth light flyweight final eliminator between Matt Windle and Neil McCubbin, that'll open the door for some big contests for the winner. And of course, we'd love your company, not just for the undercards, but for the main events, for all of the boxing we've got for you on this and all the Fridays of the year to come. Here is how you subscribe. So let's get to what you really want to see, not our ugly mugs, but some boxing from some ugly mugs. Probably doing them a disservice. I'm sure they're good-looking lads. Certainly fitting that category is our MC waiting to bring them out, Paul Booth. All yours, Paul.
Live from Sheffield, we're at the Fight Zone Arena in the summer sun of Sheffield. A very good evening to viewers joining us live and free on Fight Zone TV. Dennis Hobson for Fight Academy now bring you bout number 1 of our evening. This is a lightweight contest. We are scheduled for 4 rounds of boxing, and making their way to the ring are 2 debutant professional boxers. Firstly, from Birmingham, it's JAHFIBUS FAURE. His ring walk for the first time as a professional boxer from Knoll in the West Midlands, Dylan Norman. Friday night fight fans, a very good evening and welcome to bout number 1 of our evening. Dennis Hobson for Fight Academy now bring you a lightweight contest. This bout scheduled for 4 rounds of boxing. Timekeeper ringside is Phil Morris of Liverpool. Upon the sound of the bell, the scoring referee in charge of this bout is Andy Brook from Leeds. Boxing out of the red corner, on the scales officially, at 9 stone 7 pounds. He wears the leopard skin and black shorts this evening and boxes out of Birmingham, making his debut as a professional boxer. Please welcome JAHFIBUS FAURE. And across the ring, boxing out of the blue corner, also in the ring tonight for the first time as a professional. He makes his debut. He's scaled at 9 stone 8 pounds 4 ounces. Tonight he's wearing these solid black shorts and boxes out of Knoll, the West Midlands. Introducing Dylan Norman. Referee Andy Brook will now issue his final instructions.
Well, here we go, and you're very welcome to Fight Zone, your new home of UK boxing. Another Friday fight night in store, another sunny evening in Sheffield, and another set of debutantes in the ring here in the Fight Zone arena, in the shadow of the Sheffield arena. This very increasingly popular arena. And Dylan Norman from Knoll in the West Midlands, 21 years of age, against somebody he knows well in JAHFIBUS FAURE, both from the Black Country Boxing Promotion stable. And again, both very eager to impress under the lights and the sun in sunny Sheffield, and someone that's always sunny alongside me again in commentary this evening. For the first couple of fights, while we are free to wear here on Fight Zone, is the one, the only Mr. Dave Allen, wearing yet another wrestling tee. What is it? Talk us through the shirt, Dave.
It's a DX shirt, Claudio Loosely special. And we are kicking off tonight with 2 debutants, and we've got 2 debutants here that are both trying to win, so this is my kind of fight. It's going to be a competitive one. Dylan Norman seems to have a little bit of an amateur background, 9 amateur fights, 7 wins. You've got it written down there, Dom. You've done the homework, not me. I'm just copying you. And the other fella looks to have a white collar background, but so far it's pretty even. You know, not sure how to pronounce that fella's first name. Yeah, Farr. We'll just call him Farr. He looks strong, but Norman does look the better school boxer.
Well, Norman, who, as you say, after nicking my notes, did have some kind of an amateur background, obviously 9 fights, 7 wins, was boxing for Solihull and West Warwickshire Boxing Club, boxed for Frankie Gavin's ringside gym as well, so no doubt picked up a fair bit of knowledge in those 2 gyms. You've got Malcolm Melvin in the corner as well, a 2-time British title challenger himself, so gone about the business pretty well so far as well.
He looks well schooled on, but the other fella to me just looks a little bit stronger, you know. 4 threes is a long time. They're both trying to win. 9 amateur fights, really, is not that many fights at all. It's not much experience, so it will be interesting. Far for me, I'm not sure how many white collar fights he had, but he does look the stronger. He does look composed in there. He looks to have had quite a few white collar fights, if that is indeed his background. This round so far is very close, but Far for me, he does look the stronger, but as we did say, Norman does look the better school. However, the better school fighter, if he isn't as physically strong or hit as hard, doesn't mean he's going to be the victor. It's a nice body work by Far there as well. Far's actually impressed me, to be honest. Going off his background, looking at what we know about him on paper, I was edging towards Norman, but Far's been quite good so far.
Yeah, this Far with the leopard skin trunks against Dylan Norman. Black with the white band. Just ending slightly scruffy there. Andy Brook, the referee from Leeds, just getting between them. But both men getting the first round of their professional careers out of the way.
To be honest, Dom, I haven't got a clue how to score that. I'm not really sure what to make of it. It was, I'm not sure, but Norman's in the home corner, so we'll just say 10-9 Norman probably.
Well, of course, this arena 4 weekends in a row we've been here now, and more to come here on Fight Zone. Do you know, I'm not sure if I mentioned this to you last week, Dave, but Fight Zone is just $4.99 a month.
It's unbelievable, you know. I was doing my own work at home and I thought 9 fights per show, you know, 8 tonight, 7 tonight. You're getting around 35 to 36 fights for $4.99 a month. That's about 12p a fight. It's unbelievable maths from me. It's unbelievable value from Fight Zone.
Well, it is free to air at the moment, but of course our main card tonight, and it's a fantastic card as well. Got a light flyweight Commonwealth eliminator top of the bill. Matt Windle, what a story he has. The poet from Birmingham against the man McCubbin from Scotland. But at the moment, it's about watching these prospects come through as well. We've got so many on the cards on Fight Zone, debutants and novices and the boys and girls that have the whole careers ahead of them. We want to follow the journeys from the start. And at the moment, this one's just shaping up nicely as Dylan Norman just has the better of the first exchanges. Now, as you say, FAURE trying to jab the body again. He's been using that as a weapon.
There's not much between him, you know, there's not much clean work landing. The dude seems to be taking it in terms to land. I'm impressed by FAURE. He's in and out of distance really nicely. He's making Norman miss. However, he's not really coming back with too much clean work of his own. However, if I was putting money on it, FAURE does look the stronger. And over 4-3, I think this may get very interesting. He's caught Norman with the right hand there behind the ear.
Yep. Good right hand from FAURE.
Yeah, FAURE does look the stronger. FAURE starting to take the middle of the ring now. When Norman does punch though, FAURE does move nice out of distance, but I'm not sure he does need to be moving out of distance so much. I think he's the physically stronger man. He could probably hold his feet a little bit more, make Norman miss and make him pay instead of moving out of distance all the time. Interesting, this up close here is very interesting because Norman, 21 years of age, he won't have that strength yet. FAURE will have the strength, and this work up close, we will see now working off the clinch who comes out of it looking to be the aggressor, and it is FAURE. Norman now is overreaching, he's missing with the jab. If the jab's not landing, if I throw a jab at you, Dom, it goes over your shoulder, the right hand's probably going to do the same, innit? So, you know, Norman needs to...
left hook to the body.
Well,
trouble.
You lose your hand, but... He needs to get on his jab. He needs to get on his jab, Norman. He needs to get on his jab and keep his distance. The right hand will not. If the left don't land, Dom, the right can't land. The rounds are hard to score again because there's not much clean work. But FAURE for me is he's doing a little more. You know, I'm really impressed with FAURE so far. FAURE so far. Yes.
Both men being urged on by their support. As ever, all the fighters so well supported at the Fight Zone Arena. It's been really impressive, and everybody enjoying the action, enjoying being in the open air, enjoying the sunshine. A couple of beers flowing as well. But the nervous energy in there for these two men.
Yeah, make your debut. It's always. I seen Dylan in the back there, and he was nervous. I said to him, "It's good to be nervous. It's normal to be nervous, but you will get that nervous energy, that adrenaline, and you will tire out. This is round 2." 4 rounds in sparring is easy, Dom. I could do 4 rounds in my sleep. 4 rounds in the ring for real, it feels about 40. It's a very hard debut for both men to take, so you've got to give them credit because there is much easier fights than this. Boxing a kid that... The hard fights, ones that are competitive. My old man used to say to me, the hardest fights he ever had was a schoolboy because you're the same size, you was all trying to win. They're the hard fights, when it's competitive.
Well, that's what Fight Zone is all about, of course. Good matches and debutants willing to go in with each other and competitive fights. That's what it's about, and that's what we've been seeing on Fight Zone. We've had some crackers already. We've got some lined up tonight as well. Everybody looking forward to it.
Well, I think this is around the piece, to be honest. I think the second round, FAURE for me, I don't want to say edged it. I think FAURE did the better work. In the first round, it was close. Norman sold more tickets. We'll have to give it to Norman.
This is textbook stuff, David.
Well, it's the truth, Dom. I have to speak the truth.
Well, on the bill tonight, Andy Owen, he's got a real story. He's also making his debut in our second fight. Still to come, we've got some talent in Wicken King, Stanley Stannard, Derek Assars, Matt Windle. That's only half the tale, as again, these two.
For me, Norman there doesn't need to be doing that. The wrestling inside and kidney punching and rabbit punching is just a waste of time. The referee's not scoring it, and there ain't no clean work going on. And the referee's giving him a ticking off, and rightfully so. There's no need for that. Norman needs to be keeping this long and not falling over. He's falling over his front foot every time. If you miss with the jab, you don't throw the right hand. It's just basics. It's just basic boxing.
Well, as you say, it's the referee Andy Brook from Leeds who is the man they need to impress. He's the scoring referee in this 4-rounder.
Very close, very, very close. You know, the two rounds that have gone. He's not saying Norman that he's rushing in with his left hand. It's not a jab that, Dom. He's just running in, he's throwing it from his waist. And it's going straight over Far's shoulder. And when you miss the jab, when the jab's going over the other fella's head, the right hand ain't landing. Far's jabbing to the body, at least you're hitting the target. I always say to the boys that train, jab the body, jab the chest, you're hitting something, even hit the arm, hit anything, as long as you're not missing. Missing's demoralising, missing's tiring, and when you're missing, the other fella feels like Pernell Whitaker, and the confidence is through the roof. Good shot by Norman there, good left hook, both of them at the same time, but Norman's was the better punch.
Yeah, there was a smart exchange.
In this round, Far's trying to use the physical strength to push Norman back, but he's not doing the cleaner punching. This round so far, I think Norman's winning it. Norman's been landing the cleaner punches. I just wish he'd throw a proper jab and he'd throw it far enough out for it to land and not just be a throwaway shot. The jab's the best punch in the book. It's not something to be just throwing away to look busy. It's a professional boxer now.
Well, again, got to take into account this a debut for both men, and often, as is the case, the game plans can go out the window, of course.
This is like an amateur fight over 4 3-minute rounds. It's that competitive, you know. They're both neither the most experienced, and it's competitive. They both want to win. These are the kind of fights. As a boxing fan, I'm paying to watch the boxing. I want to watch these fights. These are the fights you want to see. They're competitive. They're both trained, and for me, Norman is winning this round now. Norman is getting behind his boxing a little bit better. He's using the jab. The jab sometimes he's not landing the jab very much, but he's setting the right hand up with it somewhat. And Farr does seem to be tired this round as well.
Just work off the ropes from Norman. His torso now quite reddened up. There's a little nick as well on Norman's face.
Farr slowed down now dramatically. He's slowed down. Far's punches now are shoves. They're not punches anymore, they're shoves. He's just trying to shove the punches out. And with that, you lose the power, you lose the speed. And Norman now is starting to relax a little bit. Ain't down to fitness. It's hard on your pro debut. It's hard in any fight, but with the lack of experience, they have tired. But Norman is holding his boxing better than Farr.
Well, both men will be feeling the heat. It is a nice warm evening here. It's not as stifling as it would be in a leisure centre or a small hall making your debut. There's a little bit of wind, so I'm sure they'll be grateful for that, because they will be tiring, as you say.
Well, it's not tops off weather, but it's not bad though. It's nice.
You're going to do that again this week?
There's lovely breeze on, lovely breeze on. I don't like the breeze on me, so the top will stay on. But there will be appreciating the breeze tonight for definite. But it is still warm. It is still very, very warm. The sun is out. The sun is hot. And this is 2-1 Norman to me, going for the last, so it's all to play for.
Well, here was this exchange. I think that the cut occurred, maybe heads coming together.
So now for the 4th and final round.
So here we go, 4th and final round. If the men in their respective corners are saying what you think, then we should get plenty of action in this 4th and final round. And of course, everybody wants to win on the debut.
Good left hook from Farr there, but I do think the pace, good job as well. I do think the pace now has suited Norman somewhat. You know, he has been able to get behind his box. Early, he was rushing everything. He was rushing everything for the first 2 rounds, but now Farr slowed down. Farr is pushing his punches. He did look physically strong, but he does look sort of tired. I do wish Norman had stopped running about and running. He's literally running into his punches. Just steady your feet down and just throw your punches nice and straight. You know, from a solid base, because he's running into shots from Farr this round. There's been 4 clean shots and all have been from Farr, and they've all been because Norman is rushing in. He's rushing in with a straight back almost. With a straight back with his head in the air.
And Norman on the front foot. As you say, Farr's just manoeuvred him to the ropes again.
great to see though, because they both want to win. You know, you don't in your pro debut, you don't. If someone offered me this fight in pro debut, I'd have said no, thank you. You know, so you've got to give them a lot of credit.
You're not going to be a lightweight though, Dave.
Well, I'd have took these two, like with 10-stone weight advantage, yeah, but you've got to give them a lot of credit because it is a hard fight for your debut. This Norman landed the left hook there. For me, FAURE has landed the better shots in the first minute of the round, but Norman is coming back strong now.
And again, the clinch again. Andy Brook will need to get in between them. Just a bit of holding again.
Yeah, Norman is the one that's trying to do all the work now. You know, FAURE definitely has slowed down. Just pushing his punches somewhat. But for the first 2 rounds, FAURE boxed really well. He worked the jab, he looked well, but he has started to push his punches. And Norman's come on strong. I'm very impressed with Norman in the last 2 or 3 rounds. Because after the second round, I was worrying about him somewhat, especially with him being 21.
Well, it's 30 seconds of the professional debut for both Dylan Norman and JAHFIBUS FAURE. 2 men from the West Midlands. Boyd on now in these final knockings. Who's going to have the final say in this contest?
I think Norman's done enough now. I think Norman's won the 3 rounds to win this contest. I think FAURE will be a good fighter in time with more experience again. You know, the FAURE loser is going to be spending some time in the away corner, but I think FAURE will end up being a good fighter. But I think tonight I've got to give up 39-37 Norman. I think he's won 3 rounds to 1.
Well, both men, it's taken a lot out of them, just a 4-rounder, but of course there's so much at stake, there's so much nervous energy, and they will feel that little bit drained. But Dave, before we get the official verdict from our referee Andy Brook, how are you seeing that then?
I think it's 3-1 Norman, 39-37. I thought FAURE did well the first couple of rounds. Rounds 3 and 4, he slowed down. I'm not sure on his boxing experience beforehand, but I thought FAURE showed something. He had a good jab. He'd be a good fighter in the away corner, but I do think Norman, he maybe I'm not want to say wanted a bit more, but he put the more work in rounds 3 and 4, and I think he's nicked it 39-37.
A really good competitive fight to open our busy card here at the Fight Zone Arena. Another night of boxing in Sheffield on your new home of boxing, Fight Zone. We can get the official result now with our MC for the evening, Paul Booth.
Well, after 4 rounds of lightweight boxing, we ask our scoring referee to decide this bout. It's a close one. He has it at 39 points to 38 points in favour of our winner, Dylan Norman!
His first professional victory, and it was close, I think, as Dave rightly thought. Just the round in it, according to the ringside referee, 39-38. JAHFIBUS FAURE will maybe come again, but he's up and running. Dylan Norman. Wasn't much in it, Anthony?
Yeah, I thought the cards was bang on. I thought Norman just done enough with a stronger finish. So Errol Johnson went past with both his lads, and I think he's seen it just like that as well.
Yeah.
But both lads have been waiting 18 months for the debut.
Yeah.
And it didn't disappoint. Like you say, 2 lads both for the debut. They're very well matched. You might see that again down the line, but great fight.
Yep, absolutely. You thought, did you not, Glenn, that maybe just the cleaner punches were coming from Norman?
Just slightly, you know, but great effort from FAURE, and I think, you know, he should not be disappointed. No. You know, I know it's his debut, and you think, you know, you're on TV, and it's a big letdown, but I think he's just got to pick himself up, because there was nothing in that whatsoever. Just maybe a few cleaner shots. Great effort from FAURE. So, but what's great is what a way to start the night.
Yeah.
You know, it just shows you the sort of, you know, how much the fighters wanted.
Yes.
You know, on the debut, really going all out. and it's great. You know, it's great.
From a similar part of the country, one with an amateur pedigree with 9 fights, the other it sounds like a white-collar background. So it shows that doesn't necessarily, there's not one route to professional boxing.
No, not at all. We see it all the time. Like you say, obviously fighters coming over from other sports as well.
Yeah.
Obviously the decorated amateur careers we see a lot, but no, it didn't disappoint there. It didn't disappoint. Like I say, very well matched. And like you said, the loser there, he had nothing to be ashamed of. Very, very close. Goes away, makes the adjustments like we've seen last week. You can reverse them, but no, well done to both boys on the debut.
Yeah, and do you think we get too obsessed with the unbeaten records?
I was just going to bring that in. You know, the one thing that fighters, they've got to learn their business.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you lose. You know, I went through a period I lost 5 out of 6. You know, I was becoming a journeyman myself. It was because, you know, I was training myself. You know, the circumstances were all wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't have a gym, and you know, so nothing was going right for me. So you're expected to lose. You know, you brought in last-minute fights. You know, but I didn't get disheartened. Kept plodding on. So I think fighters, you know, lots of fighters have went through streaks like that. Lots of fighters have come and lost their first few fights. It's, you know, the game's about learning, and it's about determination and dedication and keeping at it and learning from your defeats. And I think, you know, that shows character. And at the end, when you get there, it doesn't matter if you've been a GB guy and you've had 10 guys that you're going to flatten. You haven't learned anything. If you've come up the hard way, you've got a background.
Yeah.
You've learned something, and you're going to be much more prepared when you get to the opportunity to fight.
Yeah, do you go along with that?
Without a doubt, I think I know myself, like you said, Glenn, you know, we get to the top of that mountain, but I think along my way, I lost my 8th form and 9th fight on television against a journeyman, against a fight that I was meant to win and win convincingly, but I think that now, at the time, it didn't seem it, but it was the biggest blessing in disguise, and there are a number of losses across along the way, but I think each one I took something from. So without a doubt, listen, there's very, very few fighters who go plain sailing, you know, 20-0, start winning titles, and then they come apart when stepped up a level.
Yeah, no, obviously, therefore, JAHFIBUS FAURE shouldn't get himself in a pickle because he lost his first pro fight. We saw Henry Wharton's boy got beat last week by Brett Fido, but that was a difficult fight for a debut. So sometimes you learn more in defeat.
You know, if it's a world title fight, it's a disappointment. If it's a 4-round fight on your debut, it's just a learning fight. And if it's by 1 point, doesn't mean anything whatsoever. It's just you're getting off, and you've getting off with a little less pressure.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden Norman's got the pressure on him for his next fight to win that, where FAURE hasn't. You know, so it's it's all about learning the game. You know, if you want a long career, you've just got to learn. So a 0, you know, it means nothing.
Yeah, hopefully that's going out boxing slowly. I think I mentioned 20-0. I think those days are gone now. I think after 10 fights, fighters are in a real fight, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I think hopefully that emphasis of keeping that 0 is going now.
Dylan Norman's got the 1-0, and he gets to talk to Dom.
Well, congratulations, Dylan. A professional debut. You've got it out of the way now. How tough in there was it?
To be honest with you, it wasn't very tough. I've been in training for 2 years for this. I don't know if you've heard, just had many setbacks, and I've just managed to stay in the gym the whole time and make sure I'm ready for the fight. Got 4 threes out of the way today, so yes, just want to welcome myself to the pro game, and yeah, that's it really. Yeah,
it's been a frustrating time for everybody, but you're finally there now. You're still a very young man, so there's a lot that you can get on with and learn now. But and again, getting in there tonight, outdoors as well. I suppose it's a fairly surreal one for a debut. Probably not what you imagined.
No, definitely not. I was expecting a small hall show. I've come here to Fightzone, unbelievable, absolute massive platform. And it's a privilege to be here, and I want to thank everyone, all the people that have come down and supported me, all my sponsors, Dual Building, Ray Plant, the Lloyd's Knoll, Fight Star. It's been an absolute privilege, and it's been a long journey, but I'm so glad I'm here now and got it out of the way, the first one out of the way, and hopefully many more to come.
And you do shift a few tickets. You got your good support here tonight.
Yeah,
as
got
well.
great support. I only had 10 days notice for this as well, so which is it's great to have all the people here. Brilliant support, and just thank everybody really.
So what's the plan for you now? What do you want to do now that you are underway?
Just get back on the road, get more fights. You know, you go nowhere just sitting here standing still. You know, having 1 fight a year or something like that. I want to get as many fights underway and hopefully work my way up the rankings and prove that I can be up there with the top lads.
You'll have a bit of a shiner in the morning. That's not going to bother you, is it?
No, not post about black eye.
Well done tonight.
Cheers, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well done to Dylan. I think if you're worried about black eyes, you're in the wrong game as a professional boxer. That goes with the territory. Of course, no finish in that one. You wouldn't expect that with two debutants, maybe over 4 rounds at lightweight. But we have seen some cracking KOs already on the Fight Zone cards.
The winner by Kanzo, still undefeated, Ian Martel.
You get all that and so much more for less than a £5 a month. Do join the Revolution Fight Zone up and running. Delighted to say, joining myself and Anthony for a chat, is Lydia Day-Doll, a social media creator and I'm sure influencer who's been travelling around the length and breadth of the country, even in the restrictive times, talking to fighters. Have you not, my dear?
Well, I've just relocated from Dublin to the UK, so this is my first week. And I was here last week, but on a kind of a boxing fan capacity. So here tonight for work. So I've just got here, just been walking around, meeting everyone, and it looks like it's going to be another great show.
So what's the word in boxing circles that obviously you're very much part of on what's happening here and obviously plans for the future with this idea, this project?
Well, I think everyone is super excited, one, that boxing is back. It's been a long time. You know, obviously we've had a couple of shows, but now we're starting to get into the swing of things. So I think everyone's excited to be back. The fans are excited to be here. And the idea of Fight Zone and what Dennis and everyone is doing here, it's exciting times, and it's great for the fighters. You can see them, you guys know when you're looking at them fighting, they know there's a massive opportunity here for them. So I think they're very grateful for that. So it's all in all, can't fault it.
And as you well know, you both know, so many fighters, whether debutants or seasoned pros, have been waiting all this time, like a load of people in walks of life have, for the restrictions to ease.
Of course, I mentioned before, about the 2 fights that I have, they wouldn't have got the opportunity to be out other than for this platform, but it's just great seeing people back in. Obviously I was here both nights last week, packed out audiences. It was just good to be back watching live boxing, and good to be here.
It is. And do you think that the kind of the wider discussion maybe, Lydia, around the Matchroom decision to move to streaming with DAZN, obviously what Dennis and the other promoters are trying to do with Fight Zone, you sense there's a current, a direction in boxing?
Listen, my whole company, Fight Connect TV, is online. It's social based, it's quick, it's fast. People want results, they want to know what's happening now. My whole idea was behind Fight Connect TV was that I wanted people that couldn't get to a show to be at home and to experience this, to know exactly who's here, the results, what's happening backstage, seeing the cut men getting everyone ready, the trainers prepping the fighters before they go out. that's the future, and it's about accessibility, and it's about, you know, speed, and it's about expanding the audience. You know, let's try and reach those kids that are at home and on their phones. So it's the way forward.
And I think my kids don't watch TV. They only sit on their laptops and phones. So
honestly,
that's
I remember, wow, it must have been over 5 years ago, and they said, I don't know completely, they did mention live sport, but TV is going to become like radios in the sense that now you go in a room and you're mentioning then, they're either on the phone, they're on a tablet. How many people, you know, how many families now sit around and watch, you know, some on the phone, streaming something. So that is the way the world's going. There's no denying that. So I think, we are seeing a shift. There's no denying that.
Well, it sounds like you're in the right business, Lydia. Doesn't it? Is it
Let's hope.
Connect?
Fight Connect TV.
Fight Connect TV.
Yeah. So coming to a show near you very soon. Let's hope.
Well, nice to meet you, and good luck with the venture.
Lovely to meet you too. Thank you both. Thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you as Fight Zone progresses. Next two fighters are waiting, including, as we've mentioned, Andy Owen, this tremendous story, a fellow who's lost a lot of weight, but I'm sure will gain a lot of followers, an NHS frontline worker ready to make his professional debut at the age of 33, no less. Dom's got all the details.
Yes, thank you, Matt. Andy Owen from Wolverhampton making his debut against Ryan Hibbert. We've seen him here at the Fight Zone Arena already as part of this schedule. Has the kit bag, will travel, but Andy Owen, yes, well, the NHS, married father of two, finally makes his pro debut. Actually started boxing at the age of 24, but now the time is right for him.
Live and free on Fight Zone TV from the summer sunshine in Sheffield at the fabulous Fight Zone Arena. Ladies and gentlemen, boxing fans, welcome to a Friday night of professional boxing. Dennis Hobson for Fight Academy now bring you a cruiserweight contest. First boxer to make his ring walk from Earlham, Greater Manchester, Ryan Hibbert. First time as a professional boxer from Wolverhampton, Andy Owen. Boxing fans ringside and Friday night viewers joining us live and free on Fight Zone TV. Time now for a cruiserweight contest. This bout scheduled for 4 rounds of boxing. Timekeeper ringside is Phil Morris of Liverpool. Upon the sound of the bell, the scoring referee in charge of this contest is Darren Sargentson from Manchester. Firstly, boxing out of the red corner, officially on the scales at 12 stone, 9 pounds, 10 ounces. Tonight, this is fight number 12 of his professional career. Wearing black white and gold. Boxing out of Earlham, Greater Manchester, introducing Ryan Hibbert. And standing across the ring, boxing out of the blue corner for the first time in the ring this evening as a professional boxer. His official weight for the contest, 12 stone, 6 pounds, 6 ounces. He's wearing these solid black shorts tonight and boxes out of Wolverhampton in the Midlands. It's a welcome to professional boxing to Andy Owen. Referee Darren Sargentson will now give his final instructions.
So, our third debutant of the evening here at the Fight Zone Arena. Fight Zone, your new home of UK boxing. Just $4.99 to subscribe. This, our final free-to-air fight of the evening. The main card will follow. But this is Andy Owen, who wears the black trunks, his name emblazoned on the top of the waistband, against Ryan Hibbert from Salford, who's got the white cross down the panels. We saw Ryan Hibbert last Friday here against another debutant in John Carpenter from Dublin, who was very impressive. What can we expect from Andy Owen, who flicks the jab out quite smartly in the opening stages of this round? He's got a good following here tonight. And here tonight is Dave Allen.
Well, I ain't got a clue about Andy Owen. I only know from looking at your notes. It's a very interesting man, Don, but I'm going to leave that for you to tell the people. Ryan Hibbert told me earlier, he said, if this fella's no good, I will beat him. He said, if he's any good, I probably won't. So that's the story of the fight. Andy Owen's come out. He looks very raw, very basic. But you know, Ryan's doing what he's doing. He's holding on. He can have a look at him for a round. What Ryan does, and fighters like Ryan, the first round, they see what kind of power Andy's got, see what kind of strength he's got, see how good he is, and they kind of go from there. You know, they go from the round. Because if we don't know anything about Andy Owen, you don't, because you do all the homework. If you don't know anything about him, what can Ryan Hibbert find out that you can't find out?
Well, what I do know about him is that he's lost more than 4 stone to get fit for this professional debut, Andy Owen. Now, he's had a fairly stressful time because he's a frontline NHS worker. He's been working in New Cross Hospital. He's an associate practitioner in the microbiology department. He's been working on COVID test samples. 12-hour shifts, highly stressful. He started running to deal with the stress of the job, got fit, then decided, I'm going to box.
What's his amateur background on? What do we know?
Amateur, he came from a kickboxing background, then turned to boxing when he's 24, did have an amateur background. He now coaches kids. He's very much part of the setup at his gym. Boxed at Wolverhampton Boxing Club under Richie Carter, who now trains him as a pro as well. So he has got that amateur background, not a very prolific one, but an amateur background, now turning pro. Nearly 10 years after he turned to boxing after kickboxing. He was a good footballer as well in his day, so an all-round athlete.
Yeah, you can see he's a good athlete. You know, he looks strong, he looks physically strong. He's lost 4 stone, so obviously at one point in his life he was a 17-stone fella, so he was a big man. You can see that he's strong, very basic. He does the basic things all right. He's working behind a double jab. It's not really a jab, it's a double poke. But he's doing everything right. You know, he's doing enough to keep Ryan in his box, so to speak, and that's enough. You know, your first fight, it's one of them. You get it out of the way. To beat Ryan Hibbert, you've got to be busy. You got to work. You got to keep Ryan on the back foot. Stop him from getting confident, and that's what Andy's doing. He's not doing a bad job. He's busy with the lead hand. It's not really a powerful jab, but he's busy with it. He's busy when he gets inside, and just lots of running to relieve stress. So he'll probably keep it going for 4 Dom as well.
Well, the gum shield from Hibbert is out, so a slight pause at the end of the first round.
His hands are nice and high, and he's busy. You know, so again, against a fight like Ryan Hibbert, if you're busy, you look after yourself, you're going to get the job done. So that's round 1 to Owen. He could start his professional career.
Well, Ryan Hibbert, this is 12th bout of his professional career. 1 win on the roster, 10 defeats. Only been stopped twice by Karol Atoma and Connor Seymour. They're the only 2 that managed to get him out of there. I'm sure from Andy Owen's point of view, he's got plenty of support here tonight as well. It's just great getting in there, getting the pro debut out of the way in this remarkable setting of the Fight Zone Arena.
Well, I love the Fight Zone Arena. There's no one I'd rather spend my time here than with you, Dom. I love it at the Fight Zone Arena. When the sun's out, the sun's on our faces like it is now. It's absolutely brilliant. I wouldn't want to spend my Friday night with anyone else.
That's very, very sweet. I'm not quite sure I believe that. And your shirt is on tonight, which is...
There is a cool breeze, and I think it is saving the fighters, you know, because in weeks gone by it's been very warm. There's been no breeze. It's not as warm as it has been. And it was, speaking of hot, it was a hot pace from Andy, and I thought he set up a good pace there. And to keep that going for 3 rounds, he wins. What we will see in the second round is, I will be able to tell you how much power Andy Owen carries by what Ryan Hibbert does in this round. If Ryan Hibbert remains negative, then what I can tell you is Andy Owen does carry a bit of weight in his punches, because if he doesn't, Ryan will have a go.
Well, good body work there from Owen. Really sank those punches in. I think Hibbert really felt them. Tucking up on the ropes now, the man from Salford.
Nice work there from Owen. I don't think there's much weight in them, but I think he does everything correct. He's doing everything nice and correct. Nice 33, he's come to boxing late. I'm not sure what he wants to achieve, but he's doing the basics right, and he will pick wins up doing what he's doing with his basic style. And he does seem very fit. He's doing a good job on Ryan. We saw Ryan a bit last week, and with John Carpenter, you know, and John and Andy have both done good jobs on Ryan so far.
He does have the very high guard, Andy Owen.
For me, though, he's spoiling himself. He's got a lot of height. He's got a good reach. He just seems to have a good jab when he throws it, but he throws the jab, and by the time he's throwing the jab, he's right on top of him, and he's trying to throw a straight right hand or a right hook, but he's on top of Ryan. There's no power in the right hand because he's on top of him all the time. I would like to see him, if he does want to force a stoppage, just give himself a little bit more room.
He's trying to get some cute shots off there. He's trying to get that uppercut going.
You know what it reminds me of? In no way at all, but a little bit.
Okay.
Even though he was a southpaw, Winky Wright with the high hands. I'm not in any way saying that Andy Owen is the next Winky Wright, but he reminds me of in the smallest. I can see Anthony Collar laughing over that. I hope he's not laughing at my thing, but I was
it might be your shirt anyway.
I was watching Winky Wright. Winky Wright would stand tall with his hands high, and he'd do all sorts of clever work inside with a good jab. So I'm not saying he's the next coming of Winky Wright by any means, but there is a lot of similarities on a slightly lesser level. But there are similarities of the style there. I was meant to say.
Andy would be very pleased to hear that anyway, as he's going about the business very well in there at the moment, and again trying to get that uppercut off the decent left hook.
He's doing a good job, and he looked. I can't quite see on my screen because of the sun, but he looks to have done a good job on Hibbert's face.
Well, he's busted up a little bit.
I don't even take back the Winky Wright shout, because he might even force a stoppage here. He looks quite well.
It's all one way, really, at the moment.
I'm quite impressed with it. I didn't expect to be impressed. Looking at your notes, losing 5 stone, not starting until 24 doing the kickboxing, I wasn't expecting to be that good, but I'm very surprised that he actually has impressed me.
Well, Ryan Hibbert, his face is a bloody mess. It's Kevin Marie will work on that in the corner.
Dave, can you hear me okay, boys?
I can hear you, aren't you? Right, mate?
No, I honestly do see the Winky Wright comparison. Not so much for the southpaw and the jab, but up the middle and round the side. People always think of Winky Wright as they pulled him out. Well, that is a great stoppage, Dave.
Just like Winky Wright would have done. Just the same.
No, that's a great stoppage. Ryan's a tough, durable man. But he come up the middle, round the side. He picked his shots lovely there at times.
You know what I was saying there? I just looked over and I saw you laughing.
I did get what you were saying. Totally.
Well, Ryan Hibbert just gestured to Andy Owen. The uppercut did the damage to the nose that has forced the retirement on the stool at the end of the second. So that's an excellent debut from Andy Owen. And Dave?
I thought it was good. I thought it was very good. I wasn't expecting much. Looking at these notes, he does COVID tests. He's lost 5 stone. He's not started till 24. I weren't really expecting a world beater, and he's coming here looking like the orthodox cruiserweight Winky Wright, And I think we've got something. I think he's got a little bit about it. I don't think he's the biggest puncher in the world, but he's accurate, he's big, he looks strong. He's been up at 17, 18 stone here, so he's obviously a big man. I think he'd be in some good fights. I was impressed with him, and Ryan Hibbert's a tough man, so it's a good stoppage to get.
I think the one thing, 6 amateur fights, but because he's in there coaching kids all the time, I think that makes a clever fighter, doesn't it? And I think he's taken a lot of what he's been preaching to the kids, he put into practice on his professional debut. So a very, very solid, impressive debut for Andy Owen. And he's still saving lives to the NHS.
I was very impressed with him, and obviously the other thing is impressive as well. What you just mentioned, the saving lives thing as well. So he's got a fan in me.
Well, we can get the official result now with our MC for the evening, Paul Booth.
The official end of this contest falls at the end of round number 2. Referee Darren Sargison has stopped this contest. He's accepted the retirement of Ryan Hibbert. The winner and a debut victory for Andy Owen.
Well, I wonder if Ronald Winky Wright's watching. You know, word gets around on Fight Zone. Impressive, though. Impressive story. Great story, really. Andy Owen, as we've just heard. And a really, really impressive debut performance. He said pre-fight, after 6 amateur fights, so not a lot to go on, but he was busy, came forward, likes to throw a lot of punches. And they landed, Glenn. It was impressive.
You know, let's judge him in his own right.
Yeah.
And you know, this was a debut, and you know, there was no nerves. He was very relaxed. He used the jab well in the opening round. Then he realised that he could stand with an opponent like Hibbert. And then you know, he realised he had the confidence to throw body shots and throw uppercuts. Now you don't normally see that in debut fighters. You know, that sort of relaxation. So I think he's very well schooled. And you know, he's took his time in the gym to learn his craft, and you know, I mean, I think after what he does with the NHS, he's probably boxing for a break.
Yeah,
for a bit of for a bit of relaxation.
Yeah.
You know, for such a wonderful job they're doing, and Andy's doing. But yeah, no, I was seriously impressed for someone on his debut, 33 years of age, and I've got to say, 5 stone. That is terrific. So this kid's done an awful lot, and I think, you know, seriously, it's a marvelous achievement.
No, absolutely. 17 stone at the start of lockdown last year, and we've seen, you know, obviously plenty about Ryan Hibbert. We've seen enough of him on Fight Zone. He's a tough, durable journeyman fighter. He knows how to avoid those punches normally.
And I know it was an injury that caused it, but it was down to the lovely upcuts he was picking out. Like Glenn said, then I was just really impressed at how quick Andy Owen adapted, and he thought he'd come behind the jab, and he thought, no. There's a chance of me getting Ryan a bit out of here by going to the body. He was hitting the body really well, and then he started bringing him up the middle.
Journeymen like Hibbert know how to handle, know how to handle a debutant. You know, they
see it there with the same
find it easy, but he was just too much. You know, he wouldn't have expected shots like that from someone making his debut.
Makes me think as well, he must hit hard enough. Like you say, for Ryan there, it's an injury that's caused, but it was definitely having an effect on him. And it was the way he was dressing up the shots, going round the side, up the middle. I thought he was very cute in there at times.
But he's 33, making his debut, so he's got to be a man in a hurry, hasn't he? He's got to get on with it, with the best one in the world.
But I think it's also, you know, I said it's about a holiday for him. It's a bit about him.
I know what you mean.
But seriously, it takes him away from such a tough life, you know, such a tough job. It takes him away. So I think it's you know, great what he's doing in the hospital, and very impressive what he's doing in the ring.
Yeah, obviously just getting checked over by the doc before we hear from Andy. Dom will be chatting to him shortly. But you take my point. Obviously, if he's debuting as a pro fighter at 33, if he wants to go anywhere, he's going to have to go pretty quick.
I think Dave made a few points there. You know, at that age, you know, I don't know what his aim out of boxing is, but it's going to be an interesting ride,
I
isn't
think
it?
I think his aim at 33 will be just enjoying it.
Yeah,
he's already
see where it takes him.
Yeah, he's already coaching the kids.
Yes.
So he's already made that step. So I think it's just about, you know, put your foot, have a go, see what you can do.
Find out about yourself.
Some kind of area title maybe or something. See, and listen, you win that, and then it goes on. But he's obviously pretty fresh. If he's making a professional debut at 33 years of age. There's plenty in the tank there.
Let's find out, shall we? He's ready to talk to Dom.
Well, Andy, that was a very, very impressive debut. He's durable, he's tough, Ryan Hibbert, and you've made him retire on his stool at the end of the second. Firstly, talk us through it.
Yeah, he's a tough kid, to be fair. I hit him with some big shots in the first round, and gradually I started to feel him wilt in the second. I hit him with 1 or 2, and I thought he was going to go down, but he didn't, to be fair. He held on. But I had a feeling when he went back, I thought it might be the end.
When you watch it back, you'll hear David Allen and Anthony Crolla both talking with high praise about you.
That's class.
And Dave's comparing you to Winky Wright and all sorts. So he does temper it down a bit. But the point being is that they were really admiring some of the cute work that you were doing in there.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So is that? I mean, again, you didn't have much of an amateur background.
No.
You came to boxing late, then you've come to professional boxing later still.
Yeah.
So
to be honest, I've been around the boxing gym since I was a kid. I've always been in the gyms. I've sparred top kids all the way through, but I just never really fought. I fought kickboxing when I was a kid. 14, 15, and then I didn't do anything. I played football at a decent level, and then I went over to the boxing when I was mid-20s, and I started off with Richie Carter, and I've stayed with him ever since. But obviously I've got 2 young kids, and it got hard to get myself motivated to train myself, so I ended up going out to the coaching side. But when COVID kicked in, I said to Richie, I'm going to start running and see where I end up, and I lost 5 stone.
Do you think,
I got myself in the ring.
Do you think coaching the kids has helped you with this debut tonight? Because again, you're constantly preaching to the kids what you should be doing.
Yeah.
So you've got to do what you've been telling them.
I feel even more pressure on me then, because when I say something to them and I don't do it myself, so they always look at me saying, you don't do that. So
I think they'll all be happy with you now after that performance.
Mate.
But just a word now. Again, you took to running because you had such a stressful job working in the labs with the COVID testing for the NHS.
Yeah, basically, we started off doing 12-hour, because I work in microbiology lab, and basically we started off doing the 12-hour shifts. We was testing for the whole of the Black Country and the West Midlands, and it was just solid 12-hour shifts in back home. So I started doing a couple of mile run every day, and I just carried it on for 12 months, and it managed to get. I started doing a bit of sparring again, and Richard said you've still got it, so I decided to turn over.
So compared to the year you've had in the lab, this is a doddle, is it?
Well, it's been more fun. To be honest, I enjoy doing this. It's my passion. I love it. I love coaching the kids. I love boxing myself. It's just everything I enjoy.
Well, a sensational debut in a great setting here to make it as well at the Fightzone Arena and on Fightzone. How much of a boost is it on this platform for you as well?
It's a massive boost. I mean, I'd like to thank Dennis Hobson for having us on, and obviously Errol Johnson and BCB for getting us the opportunity. It's a great platform. I mean, a lot of kids don't get the chance to go out on the telly, so for us it's massive.
Well, brilliant tonight. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much. Cheers.
Nice bloke, and we'll watch obviously his progress with interest on Fightzone. We'll see him again, I'm sure. Point though, Glenn, perhaps to make, whilst he is obviously new to professional boxing, that also means while he's inexperienced relatively, he's also got fewer miles on the clock. Some boxers might have years and years of the ring craft, but that also brings wear and tear. He's quite fresh.
Of course it does. He's quite, he's quite fresh. But he's also experienced. He says he's been in the gym an awful lot. He's been around boxing an awful lot. He's been around the circuit, so he's picked things up. He knows things, and you wouldn't go into coaching unless you had a bit of confidence in that you knew the business. Yeah. So he obviously, he knows what he's talking about. And he proved tonight he knows exactly what he's talking about. And the kids in his gym need to watch because he did a very good job.
Yeah. We'll find out in due course whether Winky Wright was watching. He should watch his next fight, that's for sure. Maybe Andy should watch some of the Winky Wright fights from the days gone by.
Someone to study, of course.
Listen, obviously we're going to break shortly and come back at 7:30 on Fightzone. Love to have everybody with us for that. Looking forward to that. Sean Fennell, a fighter
Can't wait. Sean, a friend of mine, in there. Wickham, another lad. He's on next to Manchester lad. Yeah. Well, Wickham's Chester way, but trains over in Manchester. So that, and then obviously we start going into. Always good to see Derek Sardi back.
The Preacher.
I'm looking forward to another great night of action.
Yeah, we've got the Preacher in Derek Asaze fighting a 10-round middleweight fight. He is well worth watching, brings plenty to the ring, does Derek. And then, of course, our main fight tonight is the final eliminator for the Commonwealth Light Flyweight title. Matt Windle, a professional poet, against the unbeaten Neil McCubbin from Scotland. That one should be a cracking 12-rounder later tonight on the Fightzone. So thanks for the moment, of course, and to Glenn. They'll be back, and hopefully so will you. If you haven't paid already, your $4.99 gets you an awful lot on Fightzone. Fingers crossed, we'll see you at 7:30. Bye for now.
All in, can't beat me up, 'cause I'm back in my zone now. 'Cause I'm back in my zone now. Fight Zone.